before we begin, let's take a breath. Now imagine stepping into warm silence. No phones, no pressure, just you suspended in stillness. At Mind Over Matter practice in Victor Harbour, you'll find space to truly reset, whether it's in their float tank, a private infrared sauna, or a guided ice bath designed to bring you back into your body. Mention Trav when you book and receive 15% off of all treatments. Go to mindovermatterpractice.com.au. This is where the healing begins. G'day legends, welcome to this week's episode of the Cold Exposure Hot Topics podcast. My name is Trav Dittmar and I'm your host for today, and a big thank you to Mind Over Matter Practice for sponsoring today's show. I'm joined today by Kimberley Hart. Kim, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Trav.
Excellent. What's been happening?
So I decided to go on a bit of a book journey because I've always enjoyed writing and reading. And so last year I decided to just take the plunge and delve into writing my own poetry and prose book. And because it was on the bucket list of things that I wanted to achieve and do. And so here I am. And it's been a bit of a process. I probably started it October-ish last year and progressed from there. And yeah, now I've finally published the book, which is exciting. And yeah, and it's not for the faint-hearted. I think it's obviously with poetry, it's subjective. And this is kind of dark poetry prose. So, you know, some people will enjoy it and relate to it and others may not. And that's okay because it's subjective and people can interpret it however they like as well. So
Beautiful. And what inspired you to start writing poetry?
So I think like from a young age, I always was that kid who had a diary and used to journal everything. And I've always loved books and been around books. So I've always enjoyed writing. But I think last year, you kind of get to an age where you're like, oh, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to achieve? And it was on the list of things to do. So I kind of just, thought I'd take a risk, and if people like it, then that's amazing, and if not, then I've done it for myself. So either way, it's something that I wanted to do. So yeah.
Awesome. So tell me a bit about the publishing process. So how long does that take, and what's involved in getting the green light to go ahead with everything?
Yeah, sure. So it just depends what type of publisher you're going to go through. You can publish through an actual company, which most people do, but you can go under the fact of self-publishing, which is what I have done. I picked an amazing publisher who have helped me throughout the whole process. It just depends who you go through, because some people will go through like bigger companies where they're not self-publishing it themselves. They can actually submit manuscripts, and it's up to that particular company if they accept the manuscript or not. And with that kind of thing, sometimes they have a certain amount that they can accept per year. Yep. Whereas this process, I went out and just did it myself. And obviously the good thing about that is that it kind of saves a bit of time as well. It still took a fair few months, the process, because I had to get the book exactly how I wanted it. Obviously you've got to pick the design, the formatting, there's lots of things to consider while you're doing it. But yeah, and it's probably, October I started, and so we're in June now and it's done. So so it took a few months, but it was a lot shorter than what, I have heard that some people take up to 18 months to publish a book. So it was still quite a short time compared to some. So yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. And just looking at the design on the book, you've obviously put a lot of thought into that. What was the motive behind the artwork?
So with the artwork, I picked the colour green. I do like the colour green. It's my second favourite colour. My favourite's orange.
Hence the hoodie.
Yeah, the hoodie. But yeah, I really I feel like, I don't know, you know, if you're a spiritual type of person, then people would know that like green is like the heart kind of color. And so I thought, this is from the heart. It's written from the heart. So I'll give it green. I love green. I've got green eyes. So I thought we'll just go with green. And then obviously like in the book, it's got some pictures in the book, which are kind of same kind of like, you know, with the keys. And then we've got like a few kind of keys throughout. And then there's a few locks. I think there's one at the back. Yeah, like a lock as well. So I kind of kept through the same theme throughout the book.
Yeah, and I really love that you've mentioned the heart chakra there with the heart-shaped key on there as well. It's almost like symbolically suggesting this has come from your heart and this is the key to that side of you, I suppose,
100%. And I mean, ironically, obviously my last name's Hart, which works quite well.
Yeah, almost by design.
Yeah, so that worked quite well too. So yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned before that it's a bit of dark poetry and prose. The title is quite uplifting. Can you explain to me the paradox there?
Yeah, so when I wrote this, obviously I feel like when I write, I feel like it's quite cathartic. And if I'm writing about something, I like to be in the moment of whatever I'm feeling. So if it's like, you know, your sadness, pain, whatever it is, I like to sit in the moment with that feeling and just kind of let it all out, let it all flow. And I realized when I had obviously written the book and I was thinking of names for the book, even knowing there was a lot of dark poetry in the book, I didn't want it to be just darkness, because I thought like in life there's always good and bad. And even knowing, you know, we all go through, you know, our own trials and tribulations, everybody's got amazing things in their life as well. So I kind of wanted it to have that spin of like, thank you for my life, because, you know, sure, there's been pain, there's been grief, sadness and everything else, but I'm always grateful for my life, and I'm glad that I'm here and that I can share everything with everybody. And yeah, I wanted it to be just not like a kind of like I didn't want it to be like a victim mentality type thing. I wanted it to be like an uplifting, even knowing it is dark poetry, it's not, life isn't dark.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah.
It's an authentic and real expression of the human emotion.
Yeah.
But I love that you've shown the gratitude for that as well, because, you know, we can't have the highs without the lows, and that duality there is really is a contrast, but it's visibly present with your book, which is fantastic. Now you were going to share the blurb with us, weren't you?
Yeah. So my blurb is kind of, rather than obviously being poetry book, rather than writing, you know, obviously if you're writing a novel or something, you're going to write about it. It's a bit different with poetry. So I haven't written like an overview of the poetry, but I've written, it's kind of like a poetry and prose in itself, being the blurb. So I'll read that. So that is, when everything is galeed and dark, be in the present. Follow the faint sounds in the distance of joy-like laughter. Lean into the stillness, for there you shall find peace, for there you shall be grateful. Thank you for my life.
Beautiful. So that's getting back to that gratitude bit at the end there as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just accepting, you know, that stillness, the reality of life, but also, you know, within those moments, seeking out the good in life, like you mentioned, the laughter there and everything like that. Yeah. That's really, really cool. So how long ago did the book come on sale?
So the book went on sale, I think, officially on the 28th of May. So it's been about a week or a bit over a week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's on sale on Amazon. Obviously, you can purchase online on Amazon, and Ingram Spark is another place where lots of authors produce their work. There is lots of platforms kind of from Ingram Spark. So like you'd find a lot of Booktopia. Yep. I found out that it was on Booktopia. I think there's one called Fish Pond. So there's a lot of other kind of lead-offs from that as well, that it's on sale, which is awesome.
That's some awesome
exciting
exposure, isn't it? And how do you feel now that you have the title of author?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's scary, but it's exciting. It's really cool, and I think I definitely have a couple of other things kind of in the works coming out eventually. So when I've finished a couple of other books, they will be, so that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you like to share one of your poems with us now?
Yeah, sure. So I'll share a little bit, one of the less darker ones, perhaps. Okay, so that's what, I don't know if you can see that.
It's a beautiful image again, isn't it?
Yeah, so this one's got the lock. And this one says, "As I watch the dark, vast night sky and twilight of the stars, I hope and wonder that just maybe the universe is shifting and creating a new constellation just for me. After all, stars do go through the dark before they can shine bright again."
Wow, that's short, sharp and beautiful. So what does that mean to you?
So yeah, that's like basically like, you know, I guess with that it's like a metaphor or analogy that, you know, sometimes like kind of like the blurb, like sometimes we go through bad, but there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and you can always, through bad there is always good, and you'll always get through whatever you kind of set your mind to, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that poem there itself comes from that healed perspective, doesn't it? Of, you know, yes, I've been through this, but it doesn't even factor in victim mentality or woe is me at all. It's just, hey, look, I've been through this. Now let's see this new, in that case, the new constellation, the new, you know, image of life, the new perception of reality as well. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah. So I feel like with this, I mean, in the next poetry book, which I'm kind of obviously in the mix of doing, and that's going to take a while before that comes out. But when I do finish that, I feel like it's going to be slightly different. Obviously, I feel like I got a lot of the kind of, you know, sorrow, pain, all those kinds of more traumatic kind of things out in this book. And I feel like in the next one, it's going to be like the next chapter, like what's next, more of a uplifting kind of positive vibe poetry.
Yeah, beautiful. And you'll have, you know, basically a portfolio of the human emotion.
Yeah,
really.
pretty much.
And that's a great way to go about it, because you resonate with so many people covering this. And it's really cool that you've opened up in this sort of way, because it encourages people to do that.
Yeah. And I feel like that was a reservation for me as well in doing this, because I feel like with me, obviously, like I feel like I'm a fairly good communicator, but when it comes to like emotions and stuff like that, sometimes I don't like, you know, like speaking one-on-one to people about, you know, like certain emotions. But I feel like I'm a lot better at getting them out on paper, which some people are. Some people kind of either bottle them up or can't kind of express them verbally, and they get them out on paper. And that was a reservation of mine kind of coming into this. When I was in the process of doing this, I thought, oh gosh, this is going to be on sale to people I don't even know, and they're going to be reading like basically like a part of me, which is pretty deep and raw. But then I kind of put a spin on it, like at least like people are going to obviously interpret it differently, and maybe things might resonate with them in the poetry, which is kind of what I want people to be able to resonate and interpret things how they want, rather than being like, oh, like this is about her. It could be how it resonates for them. And I wanted it to be kind of more inspiring for people as well. So
yeah, and I love that you picked that poem to read, because that's one that when I was reading it earlier that really stuck out to me as well, is just that as I said before, like the acknowledgement of the darkness and what that can mean, but the optimism of just looking up into the sky and, hey, maybe there's something out there that this is all leading to.
Yeah.
It's really, really powerful, because it's so easy to get stuck in that negative mindset when things are tough. And I know, you know, I've struggled with that potentially you have as well, I don't know, but to be able to offer that optimism in the sense of an astronomical concept really links back to, I guess, the laws of nature and the way the universe manifests certain things in life. So I really, really liked that one.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the constellation one.
Yeah, I feel like that was one which I like is a little bit more uplifting in the book. So
Yeah. Why don't we go down another path then and go into one of the darker ones, perhaps?
okay, I can pick one of the darker ones. Okay. This one's called Burning Coals. Trapped, persecute me. Is this what it's like to walk over burning coals? Everyone is gone. I am all alone in the darkness. It is so quiet. Weeping helplessly, no one to hear me. Trapped and ridiculed in your sick labyrinth. Tricked, how to leave, who to cry to. Somebody save me. Break all my bones, but you can never take my soul. I was never good at mazes.
Wow. I love to just shut my eyes and listen and imagine the words there. And there's obviously a bit of a story behind that one.
Yeah, so that one's more of a dark kind of... it's like I was not probably in the best place or situation at the time. So I guess it was kind of like the feelings that I was feeling at that time to kind of help get rid of basically and get out on paper rather than, bottling things in basically. So, yeah.
So, you know, there's that old saying, and I think it's even a lyric in a Bon Jovi song, like, the poet needs the pain. If you're comfortable, would you be willing to share some of the experiences that you have had that has led to the creation of the book?
So some of the experiences, so I will go through one of the experiences. So one of the, like a lot of it is through like heartbreak, grief as well. I had a loved one pass away. So some of one of these poems is about a loved one who had passed. Heartbreak of, you know, relationship breakdown or situationship breakdown. And there was a lot of things which I had to unpack, which I feel like you know, it was good to have a voice when you kind of feel like perhaps you don't have one. So, yeah.
So when you were going through those experiences and things like that, was poetry and writing always the coping strategy, or were you doing other things that then led to writing again?
I think like I've always enjoyed writing. And I've always liked poetry and prose as well, always enjoyed writing. So I've always done that regardless. But I also meditate. So like, I mean, obviously, as you're aware, because, you know, being part of that community, you know, with the meditation people at Henley and everything. I do meditate regularly at home, and I have meditated for quite a long time. So it's been a part of my life. Exercising and all of the healthy kind of outlets are something that I've definitely done, which I think has helped as well as writing.
Oh, 100%. I think they're all great coping mechanisms, and it often takes people a long time to get to that. You know, I know from my personal experience, and I didn't realise until you realise, when I was younger, my escape was smoking weed, you know. And that was my coping mechanism. I didn't even realise. I just thought, I'm a teenager doing this, whatever. But, to be able to, I suppose, sort of bypass that and, you know, experience the negatives but have that self-awareness to not fall into that trap is really, really powerful. So fully commend you for that.
Thanks.
What's your favourite poem in the book?
My favourite poem, it just depends. I guess it's one of those things. It depends what kind of mode you're in. I feel like there is a poem which I feel like it's more about me as a person, whereas not so much about like a circumstance, which is probably... this one. It's called That Girl. I might not read it because...
Giving too much away.
I feel like... it's called That Girl, and I feel like that poem is more so about me as a person.
Yeah. And
I think when I read it, it was quite uplifting, and I was like, yeah, this is about me. So yeah, and when my mum actually read this book, I think she liked that one as well. So yeah, I feel like that was a happy poem. So yeah. Beautiful.
And have you had much feedback about the book so far?
Yeah, so far I've had all positive feedback, which is awesome. I had somebody say, "Oh, there's so much dark poetry in here." Like, they were very surprised, and I pointed out, like, it's dark poetry. So like, you know, be prepared if you do want to order the book or you do want to read the book, that, like, you know, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. Because, you know, some people can resonate with dark poetry, and some people aren't into poetry at all. And there's obviously some prose as well, so it's not just poetry, it's a bit of prose as well. So yeah, I've had positive feedback pretty much all around, so that's really good. And a few people have said, like, when's your new book coming out? And I've had, like, it's been exciting because I've had, like, people reach out to me from overseas and things like that, which I speak to, who have ordered the book and stuff like that. So that's quite exciting as well.
Yeah, and to think all of this has just started in October of last year, and now literally a worldwide author. That's a pretty unreal thing, isn't it?
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking forward into the future book, the future poetry book, have you started writing that at all? Or?
Yeah, so I've started writing my next one. So I won't give away too much, but yeah, like I said before, it is more of an uplifting, positive vibe book. And I'm looking forward to sharing it with everybody when it's completed. So
quick break, because if you're serious about mental strength and physical recovery, you need to hear this. Mind Over Matter Practice down in Victor Harbor isn't just your average wellness spot. This place is built for people who want to train their response to stress and not just escape it. They've got guided ice baths, private infrared and steam saunas, float tank therapy, hyperbaric oxygen sessions, and even brain training tools, all under the one roof. Whether you're chasing peak performance or clawing your way back from burnout, this is where you need to reset and rebuild. As mentioned earlier, mention my name, Trav, and they'll knock 15% off of any treatment. Go to mindovermatterpractice.com.au and back yourself. Now, let's get back to it. Yeah, and you mentioned to me off air that you've also been studying a double degree as well as being an author. So how's that all factoring?
Yeah, so I mean, look, it factors in. I have a busy lifestyle. Everyone who knows me knows this. So eventually the plan is to, when I complete my double degree, I hopefully will be a criminal lawyer. That's the plan. But yeah, which ironically, I enjoy reading books, and I'm constantly reading books for those who are on my Bookstagram. But obviously when in studying law, I have to read books, and I don't actually enjoy reading every single book.
I can imagine the legal jargon's a bit less exciting than fantasy, or
some of it's quite exciting, but then some of it perhaps not so much.
Yeah, for sure. So what got you into wanting to do criminal law then?
I've just was in law for a while, and I had started off as a nurse, and it wasn't something that I didn't mind doing it, but I didn't love doing it. And obviously I was at that point in life where I was kind of like, oh, you know, life's too short. Let's do what you want to do. So that's why I chose to study something that I was passionate about. Yeah. So, yeah.
How long to go on that one?
A couple of years still. It's like a full-time 5-year degree. I've been doing it like part-time at the moment. Yeah. So it just depends, because I kind of switch subjects around to suit what I'm doing at the time, depending on how busy I am. So it will be exciting when I'm finished.
Yeah, for sure. It's as I've finished my degree a few years ago now, and it was just the best feeling to get that off your shoulders. And it's also kind of daunting because it's like, okay, now we're just into it. What aspect of criminal law do you want to go into if you had the choice?
I'm passionate about criminal law with youth. I am passionate about that. But yeah, criminal law just in general interests me. That's where my interest lies, I think, more so than some of the other laws.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just definitely find it interesting. And I think like you should, whatever you do in life, you should enjoy and you should be passionate about it, because then I think you're going to be happier and you're going to succeed the best. So that's, basically what to...
Yeah, and there might even be some potential for a bit of overlap with the writing and the criminal law side of things.
Yeah, well, who knows? You never know. It's a possibility.
Yeah. So you did mention to me as well there might be another book, not poetry related. Mm-hmm. Would you like to share a little bit about that again without giving too much away?
Yeah, so without giving too much away, I started it quite some time ago. It's very time consuming, obviously, as you can imagine, but I have started another book, which is a fantasy novel. It's obviously going to take a fair while because a fantasy novel takes a lot longer than poetry, because it's a lot longer, and it's my first one, so it's going to be a long process probably with editing and things like that when it's completed. But yeah, eventually, hopefully that will be completed at some stage. I don't know if it will be this year or next year, but I'm really looking forward to that. And it's a like I said, a fantasy novel. I won't give too much away because it's not completed. I don't know how it's going to end yet, but I know how it started.
Yeah.
I'm probably a quarter or a way through, not quite halfway, so we'll see how we go.
Yeah, awesome. Now, what would you say to people who are, self-writers, like just write at home and maybe want to get into the field but don't know how? What would your advice be? Yeah,
so my advice would be, without risk, there's no reward, for starters. And I think, if you really want to do something and your heart is in it to do it, then I think you should take the risk and do it, because you don't want to have any regrets in life. And I think it's important that you do what makes you happy. But I would definitely advise that just do your research, because there's so many different publishers out there and you need to find one which suits you. And it's whether or not you're going to there's so many different ways to sell that. If you are going to publish it, like for me personally, I didn't want to do downloads. I like proper real books.
Yeah.
That's just me personally. So I have only done it in a real book form, but everybody's different. Some people prefer that, and that's okay. And so I think definitely do your research and just see what kind of works for you and what you think is going to benefit you. And like I said before, sometimes it can be a shorter time depending who you're publishing through, and sometimes it takes a longer time, so it can be quite a lengthy process, and depending what you're writing to as well. So it just depends, but I think if that's something that you want to do and you're passionate about, then you should definitely take that leap of faith and do it, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. I've thought about being a writer so many times, and I've got I don't know how good it is, but I've got poetry and stuff written in there, and it's just really inspiring. When I saw that your book was coming out about poetry, I was like, fuck yeah, this is so cool. So yeah, really, really applaud you for taking the leap, because putting yourself out there with a creative thing like this, creative art form, can be very daunting, can't it?
Yeah, it can be. So yeah.
Yeah, no, really, really well done for that. Have you got a favourite book that's inspired you into your writing? Or
I don't know if I've got a favourite book. Oh, it's so hard because I love so many books, and I would probably got favourite books from different genres, to be honest.
Yeah. Even an author that you...
Yeah. It just depends. If you... where can I even pick? Where can I start? I do it depends what type of book you're going for. Obviously, if it's a self-help type thing. Napoleon Hill is a good one, or I mean, some of it's like kind of quite archaic, but
Think and Grow Rich.
yeah. Like there's just so many good ones. I can't even. And then I like Joe. I like Joe Dispenza. Like, I mean, you've probably maybe read some of his books.
Yeah.
He's got so many good ones. I really like the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I've read that. I've read that and broken that multiple times. So yeah, I really like that if you're going for like a self-help type of book. But if I was going for something like a fantasy type genre, like obviously Lord of the Rings, always. A bit of a Tolkien fan.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could just go on. There's just so many amazing books and like different things that I love about each book. So it's just so hard to kind of pick like a favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned the fantasy genre there, and it's something you like to engage with. What is it about the fantasy genre that really appeals to you?
I think like it's the idea of like escaping reality and like going to a different world. Like, you know, you don't need a passport to go anywhere. You can just do it while you're warm at home and comfortable at home. And like, I think for me, I like the imagination of it all as well. You know, some people aren't as imaginative and that's okay, but I just love the imagination of fantasy. Yeah, and the escapism of the whole thing I think is awesome. So I really like it.
Yeah, beautiful. It's been a while since I've read fantasy myself. I sort of went down the non-fiction path for quite a while now, but I really, really think it's a genre to get back into for that exact reason, you know, just to escape the day, escape the mundane and just relax.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, unreal. So as we've talked about a couple of authors and different things like that, are there particular quotes or philosophies that resonate with you or that reflect in your writing at all?
There probably is, and I probably can't think of majority of them, to be honest, off the top of my head. But one of my favourite quotes, I don't actually know who has written this quote, so I can't actually quote them. So if anybody remembers who has written it, I mean, everybody knows this one is like, dance like nobody is watching. Yeah, I always have loved that quote. So dance like no one's watching, as in like, I kind of think of that as in, you know, do what makes you happy. Like what inspires you, do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like not so much like it is about dancing. Sure, like dance like nobody's watching, but I see it as like, yeah, do what makes you happy.
Yeah,
basically.
just be your authentic self, irrespective of what's around you. Yeah. So when people read this book, is there a specific way to read it? As in, are we going chronological, or is it, you know, just flick through the poems and see if something grabs your attention?
Yeah,
or...
I mean, I would start, I haven't put it in a specific order. I just kind of muddled them up. I probably should have, but I just have muddled them up so they're kind of all just all over the place. There's no specific order, so just read as you choose fit to read, I guess.
Yeah, awesome. And now that you are an author, and I'm going to keep driving that home, you know, you're writing the poetry book and you're writing the fantasy book as well with the intention of being published. Is there still, you know, other writing that you do just for yourself?
I do journaling every now and then when I have the time, when I remember, because I think, like I said before, I had diaries growing up when I was younger, and journaling, I think, for me is important. I don't do it all the time. I probably not as much as what I should, but sometimes when I do journal, I like to not keep a record, but I like to remind myself of what you're grateful for the day, you know? So like at the end of the day, like, you know, say you're having a bad day, you're like, oh, everything's gone wrong. Like you're in that kind of mindset. I think it's important if you're in that mindset to perhaps when you get home, you don't have anything else to do, like your day's kind of not finished, but like you have some quiet time. I feel like you should definitely write something to reflect. Even if you're not interested in writing, you could do it on your phone, whatever kind of suits, computer. I think it's good to reflect on what has been good during the day. So when you kind of like, if you're having that negative mindset day, we're like, oh, everything's going wrong, and then you get home and you're kind of like, what, like, you know, you go through your day, you kind of break it down. What was I most happy about today? What really, and then you actually, when you write it down, you reflect on it better and you read it back to yourself and you're like, actually, my day was actually amazing. Why did I think that it wasn't? You know?
That's really, really powerful and a perfect metaphor for the book too. It's exactly kind of what you've done here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Have you experienced much writer's block?
No, I haven't, only because I feel like I haven't forced myself to write.
Okay.
Because I feel like if I try to force myself to write, then I'm probably not enjoying it. And if I'm not enjoying it, then I probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So for me, I just write as it comes to me. So, you know, it, like, I mean, you could set aside something and say, okay, I'm going to write an hour today. If I go into that hour and then I'm like, nothing's coming to me, then I'm not going to force it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just write when it comes to me.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like it's more organic and it's going to be better quality writing rather than forcing myself to write something that's just not coming to me. But I know it is a thing for lots of writers. They do get writer's block. It hasn't been a thing for me yet, touch wood, because I'm not going to I'll just let it happen when it's going to happen.
That's really good. And a very, well-rounded view of it as well. Like, you know, not pressuring yourself to do it for the sake of doing it, but just allowing the creative freedom to sort of flow as it comes to you. I really, really like that. Have you got like a favourite place to go to write, or, you know, a little space that you have at home maybe, or is there
a lot of it just gets written in my bed, to be honest.
Yeah.
In my bed, I'll just write it, and I have a tendency to like old school. I like actually writing it down, which is not really it's more time consuming because it's, sometimes I'll write on a computer, but I just like the idea of writing with a pen. So a lot of the time I'll just write in a book with a pen. And I do, obviously the beach is a happy place for me. So I do a lot of writing at the beach, or it will be in my bed at home where I'm comfortable pretty much. They're kind of the two main standout places that I would write.
Beautiful. No, I think there's definitely something to be said for the handwriting piece, and I absolutely love doing that as well. I think you kind of disconnect a bit if you're typing. You know, yes, you're getting the words out, but you're automatically thinking, all right, what's the next thing I have to quickly type in? Whereas when you're writing, you almost have more of that time subconsciously to think about what's going onto the paper. Yeah, absolutely. So is there a message that you want to leave people regarding the book before or after they read it?
I guess just, I don't think, if you've got no expectations, I guess. And like I said before, it is dark poetry, so it's not for everybody. And that's okay. And I feel like if somebody's reading the book, they don't need to kind of break it down and try to interpret it how I would. I think as long as they just interpret it how they see it, because it doesn't necessarily mean how it is written, and that's okay, and it doesn't matter. Yeah,
absolutely. And with each poem, you know, there's a bit of a story or a bit of an emotion, a bit of a feeling behind it. Have you got any intentions to sort of explore the meaning behind the poems on your socials at all? Or
no,
just keep it a bit...
Not really.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I think with me, I'm not really a verbal kind of feelings type person as much. I'm more of a written, and I feel like I like the idea of keeping it kind of so that people can interpret it how they want. So then I've got a little bit for me as well, you know? Yeah.
Has anyone shared any of their interpretations of the poetry with you?
Yeah, like I've had a few friends kind of say, oh, who was this about? Was this about this, or was this about that? And I said, well, however, you know,
I've kind of, fits.
Yeah, like you can see it however you want to see it. Like I haven't kind of revealed too much. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I love that because, you know, going back to the poem you read first with the constellation forming, that really resonated with me because, I mean, I know you know a bit of my journey, and I am pretty open with sharing that on social media, but it is very, very easy to get lost in the darkness, and I sort of see my life now, thankfully, as, you know, forming that constellation, and that was a really great point for me to be able to reflect, and like we were talking about off air as well, like stopping and smelling the roses, you know, and being able to be like, hey, yeah, I was in the darkness for a while and I had to free myself from that, but now look at the stars shining around me.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So I'm
100%.
really, really grateful for you sharing that with me, and, you know, giving this insight into your book and what's happening going forward. It's obviously a very, very busy period for you with two books going and the degree and obviously family as well. How do you keep on top of everything?
Yeah, I'm a good multitasker,
Yeah.
I think. Lots of energy, multitasking, positive mindset. That's all I can say, really.
And a bit of caffeine.
Yeah, 2 coffees down today.
Oh, brilliant. So is there anything you want to leave us with today?
I just guess, yeah, like if anyone wants to read or write, I just think, yeah, just do it. Life's too short, and do what makes you happy.
Beautiful, beautiful. No, I really appreciate you coming down here, and it's been really, really nice to catch up.
Yeah, it's been good to catch up.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Kim and I haven't actually seen each other for, 2 years at least, I
a
think,
few
now.
years, yeah.
So no, it's been really, really nice to connect, and I'm so, so happy to see that everything's going well for you, and you just... As you said, you're ticking off your bucket list items, you know.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Why not?
When are you ever going to get the chance to do it again? Like, you know.
Exactly.
So,
And thanks for having me today, Trav. I've really appreciated it as well.
it's been an absolute pleasure, and I think we'll have to get you on again when the new books come out.
Yes.
And you may notice we full went the ice bath today. I've been a little bit crook. It needs a bit of a clean, and I think, to be honest, Kim might have wanted a bit of an out as well. But that's all right. We'll get to that next time, I think. Maybe we'll double up.
Yeah, it'll probably be a bit warmer then, to be honest.
Yeah, I would think so, for sure. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. You can find myself on Instagram at The Journey of Trav. I'm also on YouTube and TikTok as Trav Dittmar. And you'll find the podcast YouTube, Spotify and Apple Music as well. Where can people find you on socials?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram as well, and mine's Book Queen Kimberley. For those who don't know how to spell Kimberley, it's Kimberley.
Excellent. I assume if they start typing in Book Queen, they'll find you pretty quickly.
Yeah, hopefully.
Excellent. And I will definitely put in the details to purchase Thank You for My Life as well into the show notes, and you'll see a bit of promotion about this on my page as well. I won't give too much away about that either. But yeah, once again, Kim, thank you very much for coming on, and we'll see you next time for a new episode. Cheers, legends.
Thank you.